Yeah, there is a connection. I mean, it's like it's almost 9 o'clock, so it's a long one. To talk about spiritual longing and the connection with the core wound is like, that's huge. Devotion. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's, yeah. I guess the only thing I want to say about this, because you just walked in, so the context is a little different, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so we were talking mostly about the wound and yearning and the wound. I would say that there's a way that, you know, devotion and spiritual yearning, post second birth or post dropping into the wound, is where you pursue your spiritual yearning so you can increase the yearning rather than to quench the yearning, because the yearning is the same as the wound and you want to become more conscious there. So, you know, the idea of satiating your spiritual quest, nah, you want to pursue it so that you feel more of the yearning, because the yearning is love. The yearning is the wound itself, conscious wound itself. So it's kind of the opposite of what you think. It's like, you know.
Yeah, I think what David said about, you know, when he got broke open, that started speaking again.
Yeah. I mean, that's the difference between conscious wound, core wound, or unconscious core wound. When the core wound is unconscious, then yearning ends up, and all desire ends up a means to distract yourself from the wound. Well, when the wound is conscious, then desire is understood to be the manifestation of that wound. So, you know, it's like kind of, it's too long. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Rumi, those guys, you could tell they're not real happy, but they're in bliss.
Exactly.
Yeah,
they're really chewing on that conscious suffering.
Exactly.
For the beloved.
Exactly.
Longing the suffering.
Exactly.
It's like blissfully longing.
Yeah.
I never really understood that.
Westerners really don't, but they know it's cool. You have, it's romanticizing. Many times you have Advaitins, like, oh, non-dual, and then but let's read Rumi. And it's like, wait a minute, it doesn't. Do you live that way? Do you actually? No, I don't believe in it. It's like, but you know, but it's cool. But it's like, because we intuit. It is something. It's really. It's beautiful. It speaks to the heart. It truly does. I mean, it's not very rational, especially for Advaitins, many of whom are atheists. You know, they say, do you really? No. Well, you know, the idea of God. That's a Western. No. I am God. I am the self. Well, what about this thing that Rumi's saying about the beloved? Well, you know, it's beautiful. It's I'm yearning for the beloved. You know, the teacher would be like, well, who's yearning for the beloved?
Right.
And what beloved?
Right.
And isn't that a concept? Right. And what God do you have in mind here? And, you know, all of that.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, I think we relate to it because we have been in love and we have experienced. We know that as painful as that longing is, you look back and you know it was burning something. There was a burning in there that was purifying. Yeah.
Well, this is the human. This is the situation of the human. This is what's so beautiful about Rumi is it's the human. I mean, everybody is speaking from a different place. If you read Buddha himself, it's not there.
Non-dual, and then he would write these massive songs to Arunachala.
Right. Yeah.
The mother.
Right.
Praying to Arunachala.
Yeah, he was trapped in dualistic mind at that moment.
Well, he totally allowed it.
Doesn't he know that he has no will? Why is he doing that? I mean, what is that? I mean. This is the thing, in a way, this is an open secret that life is paradox. it's just that, you know, a lot of the Dharma teachings make it seem like a straight road. And just to acknowledge that we're living in paradox, and gives us a really big break. Gives us a lot of room to do our work or to live our lives. So thank you for satsang. Thank you. You're welcome.